The one thing about this mould on the ceiling, it's growing real fast. Each breath I take, I can taste it. It's getting worse.
There's just mould seeping down ceilings everywhere and coming up from under the floors, and we want to leave because our health is being damaged.
The health effects of black mould are so horrendous. The thought of it just started really, really upsetting me, almost feeling like I was keeping my baby in a health hazard.
It feels like the mould is inside me. I have 3 flatmates. There's my partner and 2 friends. They're great, love them. It's more of a family than a flat. I'm the youngest of the house, but I'm definitely considered the mum. The fact that we go to university is great because we can stay there where it's warm, but then we have to come home inevitably, and it's horrible because it's cold and just miserable. There's just mould seeping down ceilings everywhere and coming up from under the floors. As soon as the weather started declining, the house got worse. This room, the wallpaper is actually blistering. It's because of the moisture in the walls. That one is just gross. Like, sitting here is just the worst. It's stained like that. These couches, they're just mouldy now. I'll try and cover it up because it's just gross. We have to keep the windows open pretty much all the time because otherwise it just gets wet and it's cold. But in this corner alone, it's mould. Mould on the furniture, on the floor. We've done everything we can to combat it, but it doesn't go away. So I would love to move out today if I could, but we can't without knowing if we're going to have to keep paying rent or not. The insulation, we've got a written report from a contractor saying there is no insulation.
Yeah, the slide. Come on. Whee! Oh, wow.
My baby's a pretty healthy baby, but a few weeks ago she was really sick. She was on a ventilator, which I just couldn't help but blame on the house.
I'm watching. Mama watching. Ready? Come. Yeah, I'm coming.
I live in a damp, mouldy home, therefore my baby's going to get sick. I'm going to have to take time off work, but for as long as I'm still stuck in this house, that cycle is just going to keep repeating itself. It takes its toll on me being a single mum and having to work. In order to get into this house, I was on the New Zealand emergency housing list, which at that point in my life I did need and I was grateful for.
There we go. And take a mattress downstairs.
Luckily it hasn't been bitingly cold lately, but sometimes we'll bunk in the lounge because it's warmer. She's none the wiser, and if anything, she sees that we're sleeping by the TV, so she's like, oh, fun.
Oh, are you going to jump? Go on then. You love it when Mummy pulls out the mattress, eh? I got no noise now. No noise now.
My CPAP machine is for sleep apnea originally, so that helps with my breathing at night. Each breath I take through the mask, it all goes through the filter onto the water tank into my lungs. I can taste it. Yeah, the mouldy, damp smell. It's disgusting. It's so cold in here. The moisture is that cold. Even the poor wallpaper's peeling. He don't like it. It's supposed to be a new flat, and it's supposed to be repainted and all, but it wasn't. The mould started appearing here the first week I was here. Every morning I open the windows up and the doors to air it out. It makes a small difference, but not a hell of a lot. Yeah, I've approached Wellington City Council a number of times. I've told them I've got health problems. They just don't care.
We tried talking to the property manager. We asked them to cancel our lease because we don't want to deal with this. And they've basically said, pay the $575 breaking, the fixed term fee, and then you can leave, but you have to continue paying rent till someone else moves in. We've applied for the tribunal. This is pretty much all of the stuff that we don't need every day. We don't want to spend any longer than possible in this house. So if we get a place, we want to leave. We don't want to have to pack again.
The moulds come through again. I've already wiped this before, but I'll need to wipe it again.
Oh, and it's on the walls.
When you're up here and you're looking closer, it's actually the whole roof. And this is why I keep it empty though, which is just a waste of a room. And then if you come through here, this is where I've done the DIY. One of the windows where the latches have come off, so they haven't been replaced. So I've had to, just to keep it somewhat warm and the draft out.
I've been confused as to who's responsible and who do I talk to get any sort of action. So I've worked with two agencies, I guess, the landlord being the local community centre, but then I've also had dealings with Housing New Zealand. So it's been very frustrating for me to navigate to get any sort of answers. There were times where I'd try to message and call and I wouldn't get a response. So to me, I kind of felt like I was being pushed to the side. I became so frustrated that I started getting in other agencies. These people were all great helps, but it was almost as if they didn't have any great power to really do anything either. They would give me heaters and sort of affirmation that I'm not alone, but it was all just like putting a Band-Aid over it.
These places were built 50 years ago. These walls and windows are hopeless. They're so thin you can hear the neighbour sneeze. Ken next door. Afternoon, Ken.
Good afternoon, sir. How are we?
Good. He has the same issues, but not as bad as mine. He keeps his heater on all the time. Certainly toasty and warm in here.
Yeah.
Not
Like
bad.
that all the time. You know that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I keep coming over. It's too expensive to heat this place. I can't afford it. I'm on pay-as-you-go power, and every cent counts. Average monthly bill is $19 a month. Any more than that, it makes me cringe. I don't even run my hot water. That's only once a week.
I haven't actually checked my last power bill. I know it's high. I don't want to deal with it. I can't think about it like that. I can't think about my heater as equaling money because I'll just want to turn it off. But I have to have a warm home.
Yeah, just everyone was excited about today. The Tenancy Tribunal pretty much said that it's been postponed because the property manager didn't get enough time to prepare something because she got her letter on Monday. So it means we have to spend more time here. I feel like property managers and landlords kind of take advantage of young people and students who don't know what they're doing. So they want to try and get as much money as possible from us without giving us a nice place to live. So it's difficult. It's really difficult.
Being a single mum in the housing market sucks. I feel like I have to settle for shit because shit's all that's being offered to me. I went to a house viewing. There was no heating in this house. And when I questioned the real estate agent doing the viewing about the heating, he looked at me and he said, "Are you a lawyer?" I said, "No, I'm a tenant who's gone through the process and this house isn't up to standard." And automatically I just felt that power imbalance, like this was somebody talking down to me.
E noho. No, you don't want e noho. E noho on the tepu.
I am trying to look for other housing, but the housing game is so hard at the moment. So it's just kind of being trapped. It feels like I'm just trapped, where I'm an educated, qualified, professional woman, and even I'm struggling. What about Mama? Come back now. So imagine how big families who might be beneficiaries are feeling.
We receive a letter from the council stating in the near future some flats will be torn down, more than likely be relocated to another council flat. I'm sick and tired of moving around. I like to stay here. It's the location and the people that makes it okay. If I'm really cold, I go see Ken. His heater's on. What's on telly tonight?
Oh, I don't know. Nothing much.
But if they're going to knock these places down, then I have to go somewhere.
So we met our property manager and we came to the decision that we would pay a reduced amount to leave our fixed term, given the conditions of the property. They've given us 3 weeks to move out, look for a place, and we're not going to the tribunal. My experience renting for the first time has been pretty awful. The reality of it, you've got houses like this and you have to deal with it, but you don't really know how to deal with it.
We need better renting policies so that renters feel secure in their housing. They don't feel like they're going to be kicked out if they want to say to their landlord, look, it's not good enough. I shouldn't have to feel intimidated or be made to feel just shush and hush up and not have a say, because this is housing that we still pay for and we still have to live in. And when we look at other issues that New Zealand faces, it's all a cycle. They're all interrelated issues. So maybe if we get our housing right, some of the things like health and mental health and all the rest of it, you might just see changes in those too. The fact that we're still living in substandard housing, it's not right.